A major development in the war in Ukraine overnight after a phone call was held between Presidents Trump and Putin, the two leaders vowing to work towards a ceasefire. This has been a long war, so don't expect it to be anytime soon, but the wording does mark progress. The phone call was also held with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Joining us live now is Yuriy Sak, who's an advisor to the Minister of Strategic Industries of Ukraine. Yuriy, thanks for your time this morning. Good evening where you are. So, two calls, one to Zelensky, one to Putin. How are you feeling about this? Is it the real deal?
We're feeling quietly optimistic because, of course, this is an important beginning of a very complex and difficult negotiating process. And as we were getting the news about these phone calls between the respective presidents, we also had an air raid siren across of all of Ukraine. And we again had missiles flying over Ukrainian cities and Shahed drones flying over Ukrainian people's heads. And we had another massive missile strike on the capital, Kyiv, last night, 5 a.m. in the morning. People woke up because there was an air raid siren and large, huge explosions. So it's, for as long as this war continues, negotiations will be part of the war. And of course, as in military operations, in negotiations, to achieve your objectives, you have to be strong and smart. And we hope that, we will be both.
Yeah, look, the invasion happened a couple of years ago, but really it's been going for more than 10 years now, the war. Would you accept it ending along the current lines?
Our president, in his conversation with President Trump, stressed it again that the only possible way, and we hope and we're almost confident that there is understanding of this between our sides, we need to achieve just peace. So it's not just about ending this war in any kind of way, it's about ending it with just peace. And there are certain non-negotiable lines for Ukrainian side, for example, our independence, our territorial integrity, our territorial sovereignty. They are things that we cannot have a compromise on. Having said that, of course, we are realistic. We understand that not all of these objectives at the moment can be achieved militarily. And this is largely the purpose of these negotiations. We need to figure out, which parts we will achieve through negotiations, but again, just peace, and there are certain things which are non-negotiable for us.
Yeah. Just back to that lines, though. I mean, would you accept things as they are? I mean, Pete Hegseth, the Defence Secretary of the United States, said it's unlikely that you could go back to the 2014 borders. So is it unrealistic to think that it could, with both sides firmly entrenched? Well,
Pete Hegseth said something which is a very realistic assessment of the situation, but of course he didn't say that it's not possible at all. He said it today at the Ramstein meeting, meaning that at this moment in time, this is not possible. This is our interpretation of his words and our understanding of the situation. So primarily, we are very pleased that these talks will soon begin, first between on the level of teams. We have our vision. Every side has their own vision. The United States of America have their leverages that they can use to achieve what President Trump calls peace through force. We're seeing that Russian economy is in bad shape. We are degrading their army every day by conducting deep strike drones into Russia. We are building up our own defense industry base. So we are entering these negotiations, we're still in Kursk, by the way. So while the situation on the front line is really, really difficult, we will have to be strong and smart to achieve our goals.
All right. What about NATO? I mean, Hegseth also warned that you won't be able to join NATO. Have you got to press pause on that dream?
Well, the course to join NATO, of course, is enshrined in our constitution. But again, we must be realistic. And I want to give you this analogy. So on the front lines, the situation changes in weapon systems every day. Things that have worked yesterday, they are oftentimes no longer relevant today. So we have to, to survive. And we are at the moment in a survival mode. To survive, we have to be adaptable. So when it comes to our membership in NATO, in reality, we think that we are already de facto, we are protecting the eastern borders of NATO. We are using NATO weapons. We are producing NATO standard weapons in Ukraine. So if you ask me, Ukraine's membership in NATO in the long-term perspective is inevitable.
Right.
But for now, we have to be realistic, and we understand that it's not possible at this moment.
Yeah. Okay. So you just answered the question there. I mean, because for Russia, that's a non-starter. It doesn't want you to join NATO, and this is a long argument because it feels like all its Soviet brothers are turning against them. So that's something that you'll just have to concede defeat on.
I just hope that we will have to talk about it at a later stage.
Okay, perhaps when we've got more time to talk as well, Yuriy. Appreciate your time. Stay safe. Good to talk to you. We'll chat again soon.